Chad Hyams here with another episode of Achieve Your Apex. And we are in the section where we are charting the course for goal planning. That's right. We have goals, we've planned them. Now, what we're doing is we are getting that plan to truly take shape. You see, we talked last episode about Legos and jigsaw puzzles, right? I don't know about you. When I did Lego, I would start sorting pieces. Sometimes I would just dive in and look for a piece. Sometimes when it got complicated, you started sorting pieces by shape or by color or by size. That was having a plan. And then we had the booklet to follow. The original IKEA instruction booklet was Lego. Okay, that's neither here nor there. That's just me having some fun with putting together IKEA stuff. It's grown up Lego. Let's get to putting together our plan for our goal now that we've talked about the importance of it. And I want to start this episode with a quote from one of my friends and mentors, Ben Kinney. Now, Ben has said many times over, dream long term, set goals for the near term, and take action now. And I really want to focus on that take action now part of it. You see, because he's talking about dream long term, and we've talked about this. You should have long term dreams. Absolutely. Where am I in 10 years? Where am I in 20 years? Where am I even 5 years from now? Those are long term dreams. Yet when we dream so far away, the dream can change. The dream is blurry. When we set goals that are closer, action will then help us achieve the goals, which makes that dream come into better focus. So let's talk about taking action now. And what we need to do is we need to be putting together the plan for our goal. And it's going to start with lesson number 1. Keep it simple. You see, this isn't anything you haven't heard before. This is stuff you've heard before, you'll hear again, yet you haven't been doing. We overcomplicate things to look smart and to really end up confusing ourselves. You see, you don't need some big flow chart. You don't need this big presentation in your head or on paper for your goal or leading your team, whatever it might be. We don't need tiny little fonts so we could squeeze it in on the page. We don't need multicolored things. None of that's really going to matter. It looks really good. And maybe if we're attempting to sell a product to somebody, we're overwhelming them with all of this stuff. And that's the point of it. And then they just say, fine, I'll just buy. It looks like you've done your homework. I didn't do a lot of that in high school either, though. Okay. What it's also done is it's usually filled with a lot of stuff we don't need to fill the time with. You see, that's the challenge. We fill it with a lot of things to make it look better. We put more things in the flow chart. We put more font on the page. We use more colors to make it really pop. And boy, does that take a lot of time to find the exact right shade of blue you want for it. You know what I'm talking about. You've done it before. You see, what we need to do is we need to strip it down to the basics. Okay? We don't need to worry about, like I said, colors and SWOT analysis and all of these things just to get a plan for a goal. We need these things to maybe look back upon. We need these things as we are going on our path to decide, are we on the right path for our goal? Not to build the plan. And that's what we're working on right now. Keeping it simple to build the plan. Think about it this way. Chess and checkers, they're both played on the same board. One, really simple. One, extremely complicated with a lot of nuances to the game. Now, I could put almost anybody at a checker game and they could figure it out really quickly and start playing. And they could get to the goal. Someone's going to win that game. On the other hand, if I put you in front of a chessboard and you don't really know the rules of chess, you're going to be sitting there forever, getting frustrated, getting nowhere because you just don't get it. It's too complicated. And what happens in many chess games? It ends up in a stalemate, right? We end up just both saying, all right, good enough. Either that or one person just totally destroys the other person. And when you're the person on the losing end of that, it's because you just didn't know what to do. Chess is very complicated. Checkers, keeping it simple. And I hear too many people say they're playing chess. Stop it. Play checkers. Actually, just play backgammon. It's easy and simple and fun too. Okay, now what I want you to understand is we have to keep it simple so we don't overcomplicate it and get in our own way of building out our plan. The next thing along the path is we have to make everything on our plan actionable. You see, too many times we have concepts, we have thoughts, we have ideas. And what we need to do is we need to just have a plan in place. Look, I have a fear of spiders. Okay. I have a fear of dentists too, but both of them are here nor there. But what I want you to understand is it's not about, I got to understand phobia and I got to understand why there's this fear of this. And I got to understand, it doesn't matter how I got the fear. I have the fear. I just have to overcome the fear. So what I might have to do is say, okay, I want to go somewhere where I can go into the room at the zoo where there's the spiders behind the board and challenge myself to stand there for a while actually watching them. I could go somewhere where I could actually have them where I get to handle the spiders. It's a simple plan. It might freak me out on the inside. And that's overcoming fear. That's a different conversation. Yet it's actionable items, not just concepts. Figure out what the items are you need to actually do so you can take that action that Ben was mentioning and that we all know we need to do to achieve any goal. There are thousands of plans on how to climb Everest. Now, there's really only a few you should follow. Yet there's thousands of plans. Yet it all comes down to this. If you don't put one foot in front of the other foot, it doesn't matter. Don't read me every book about Everest. Get out there and get into one of the tours. Go plan, go get the guide, whatever it might be. Exactly how you're going to take action as you're creating this plan for the goal. Now let's talk about the third one, because first we have that we got to keep it simple. Now we got to make every item on there actionable. The third thing we have to do is we have to break this down. We have to break this down to bite-sized pieces. Nobody takes a steak at a restaurant and just puts it on their fork, unless they're being funny and joking, and just starts biting into the steak and eating the whole thing. No, we cut it up into pieces. Now, some people will cut the whole steak up. Some people will just cut the pieces as they go. That doesn't matter. That's different people having different plans to achieve the goal of eating the steak. Cut it up into little pieces, right? We don't worry about 26.2 on a marathon. We don't. We worry about mile 1. Maybe we're already thinking about mile 10. Maybe we're thinking a little bit about mile 13 because we're halfway. Maybe we're only thinking about mile 3 because it's the first 5K and get it out of the way. Yet we plan this and we break it down small pieces as we go. How small can you break down this plan to achieve your goal? Is it 5 steps? Don't overcomplicate it by making it 10 steps if it's only 5 steps. Yet break down this path. Okay, Roger Bannister. We all know the story of Roger. Okay, maybe we don't all know the story of Roger Bannister, yet Roger Bannister was the first man to run the sub 4-minute mile. Okay, he had a plan and he broke it down because when he was interviewed after doing it, he said, I didn't run a sub 4-minute mile. He said, I ran 4 sub 1-minute quarter miles. He broke it down. 1 lap around the track in less than a minute. If he could do that 4 times in a row, he was going to do the sub 4-minute mile. He didn't start saying, okay, here I go. He said, I'm going to break it down into bite-sized pieces and attack it that way. I want you to put together a plan for whatever goal it is you have. Is it an investment goal? Is it a purchasing a house goal? Is it being able to do something physical goal? Break it down, keep it simple, break it down, and make every piece in there something actionable. These are going to be the things that are going to take us from here to there. Everybody remember, until our next episode, whatever you do, keep climbing.